You are listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Hey guys, today we're going to talk about Wrestlemania 36. I want to get you guys' opinion on what you guys feel about Wrestlemania 36 taking place in the WWE Performance Center instead of postponing it and having it in a huge stadium such as the one in Tampa or Madison Square Garden. Now, honestly, WWE, they haven't been doing too good with most of their storytelling lately, story writing and the creative team and things like that. So even if this were to take place in Tampa like it was originally scheduled, I honestly don't think it wasn't gonna be all that good anyway. I think the matches would have been good, but I think they would have had a very disappointing outcome with some of them. But I think the WWE and Vince McMahon should go ahead and postpone WrestleMania until June or July. At least do it right before SummerSlam. That way, they can get about 50 to 70,000 or 100,000 fans that take place at the biggest wrestling event of the year. I understand WWE is still trying to put on the show, despite everything we're dealing with the coronavirus right now. And most sports leagues are canceling all of their games, events, their schedule, except for the WWE and possibly the UFC. Dana White is still trying his best to make the Khabib and Ferguson fight happen, but that's a different subject. But this coronavirus has affected many people around the United States, well, around the world actually. In NBA, they canceled their season. Kevin Durant just tested positive recently. The NFL, the coach from the New Orleans Saints, he just tested positive yesterday. And there was quite a few other basketball players, the two guys on Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. They both tested positive, and hopefully, we can overcome this soon. We all gotta pray that this will end soon. Not even just for sports, but just for our personal lives in general, because we have to go to work and things like that and have other responsibilities. So yeah, there's a report that WWE is looking for some out-of-the-box things for this upcoming WrestleMania pay-per-view. It was announced a couple of days ago that Rob Gronkowski, the ex-New England Patriot, known for his Super Bowl titles alongside Tom Brady, he is now a WWE superstar, but he will be hosting WrestleMania on April 4th and 5th. So at first this is going to be a one-night 6 or 7 hour pay-per-view, but now this pay-per-view is actually going to be a 2-night pay-per-view, and both nights will be split up in between 5 matches apiece. This WrestleMania card was rumored to be about 15 or 16 matches. McMahon and Triple H both are thinking about cutting down a pay-per-view because they are performing in front of no fans whatsoever. So a lot of fans are complaining on social media and all around the world that they don't want to watch a 7-hour pay-per-view in front of a no audience, like a wrestling event in front of no audience. The fans aren't going to watch that for 7 hours. So that was a smart move by WWE right there. One thing I'll say about their competitor, All Elite Wrestling, on this past Dynamite Wednesday, they really put on a show. They even had some of their wrestlers come out and sit in the crowd and cheer, for the matches and things like that. So All Elite Wrestling still put on the show. They had a few ex-WWE wrestlers who debuted this past Wednesday. We had Luke Harper, known for being with the Wyatt family. He goes by the ring name Brody Lee now. He debuted as the new leader of the Dark Order. And also we have Matt Hardy, who debuted as Broken Matt Hardy, which was his well-known gimmick from TNA. So he came at the end of the show, and he is going to be the person replacing one of the Young Bucks in the Blood and Guts match, the Blood and Guts cage match actually, in the 5-on-5 cage match. So AEW is still putting on the show and giving the fans what they want to see. But for WWE though, I personally think that the best things they have going up into this WrestleMania is The Undertaker possibly bringing back his biker gimmick that was hinted at this past Monday night on Raw. His biker gimmick, known as the American Badass, that's what they call it. Back in the early 2000s, that was his gimmick's name. He wore a bandana, sunglasses, and rode a motorcycle to the ring. And he had that gimmick since 2000 to 2003, I believe. He had that gimmick for 3 years, and Undertaker showed that he's very well versatile when it comes SmackDown to playing his role, like, in the WWE. So he came out this past Monday. He attacked the OC, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. He both attacked him. He came out wearing a skull cap and he had a ponytail. He didn't come out with his hat and jacket. The lights didn't cut off, and he doesn't magically appear in the ring. He just walked right out. As soon as the bell came on, his music played, and he just rushed right to the ring. So this is going to be very interesting, like to see like what they're going to do with the Undertaker going in to WrestleMania. And one of the best storylines going into WrestleMania is Edge and Randy Orton. Now, Paul Heyman has been writing the script and storylines for the Edge and Randy Orton leading up until WrestleMania. There's another report that Edge and Randy Orton both has been having their own input into the writing for their feud. So this is the best one going up until WrestleMania. This past Monday night on Raw, Edge laid out a challenge to Randy Orton, saying that he wants to challenge Randy Orton in a one-on-one match, but it'll be a last man standing match. So WWE can really make this a good match. It can possibly be the match of the night if they have a last man standing match, which I'm pretty sure they are, and like at least have them fight around the arena. Like, WWE Performance Center is like a wrestling school. Like we've seen that a couple of weeks ago, like when Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano brought on NXT. You can see the Performance Center. They have like other resources like in their facility. Like they have like a physical therapy area, and they even had a weight area. So I'm pretty sure Edge and Randy Orton, and not even just them, in a few other matches, they can like brawl like throughout the arena and make the arena good. Now John Cena and Bray Wyatt, that is another match that'll be taking place that night. And John Cena and Bray Wyatt are rumored to have like similar to a House of Horrors type of match. That match can actually steal the show, because I actually thought when Bray Wyatt took on Randy Orton in 2017 in the House of Horrors match, that was a very great match. It was very unique and very different. I'm pretty sure this one will be like a Fiend House of Horror. They can make like it very scary, a bunch of demons trying to help the Fiend beat up John Cena. They can make this a very great match, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pre-recorded just like the House of Horrors match in 2017, and even Ultimate Deletion match between Woken Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt that took place about 2 years ago. So there's a lot of great things they can do with John Cena and The Fiend, and also Roman Reigns and Goldberg. That's one of the matches I'm looking forward to. A lot of fans don't think it's going to be terrible, because of Goldberg is about 53 or 54 years old now, and they don't think he can deliver a good match anymore. So I think Goldberg's going to come in there, prove everyone wrong. I think the match is going to be longer than anticipated, and I think it can be one of the best matches of the night. And also we have another rumor going around that Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre might be canceled. Brock Lesnar has a dual citizenship between the United States and Canada, and the situation we're facing worldwide right now, there's President Trump ordered like a travel ban between most of the countries, and rumor states that Brock Lesnar is stuck in Canada right now, so he won't be able to travel to the U.S. until this coronavirus outbreak ends. So Brock Lesnar will possibly have to forfeit his title and make it vacant, and the Drew McIntyre and Lesnar match will be off. So that is a terrible situation right there Vince McMahon will have to face as for the Universal title match. And also, I just mentioned Roman Reigns and Goldberg previously. Roman Reigns and Goldberg. Now, Roman Reigns has survived leukemia twice in the past. He had leukemia first back when he was 19 years old, and he also had leukemia back in 2018. So his body is prone to more infections and viruses because of the leukemia that he's had before in the past, and WWE doctors are monitoring him closely. So if he shows any signs of sickness, they're going to pull him from the card. So it's possible that Goldberg and Reigns could be canceled too. I pray and hope not. They just had a very great segment on SmackDown this past Friday night at the end of the show. They had a contract signing. Goldberg flipped the table over after both men signed the contract. I was disappointed because they didn't brawl at the end, but I think it's still going to be a very good match. And so, as far as the rest of WrestleMania, you got Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. That can be the best women's match of the night, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have Charlotte win. So I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to have her break her father's record as being a 16-time world champion. And other matches that were rumored for the card, it was going to be Otis taking on Dolph Ziggler. That match is possibly going to be canceled. And there was more Braun Strowman getting a rematch against Sami Zayn. That match possibly might be canceled. And the Riot Squad facing off against each other in a triple threat match. And that match is also rumored to be nixed as well. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as far as WrestleMania, if they can do everything they possibly can, like make everything a 5-star match, think of out-of-the-box stuff like they say they're going to do, they can still deliver a great show. I don't think it'll be the greatest WrestleMania no matter what they do, because there's no fans. There's no way they can possibly make this WrestleMania better than WrestleMania 17 when The Rock took on Stone Cold Steve Austin, or WrestleMania 3 or 4 is back when Andre the Giant took on Hulk Hogan. That is the most famous WrestleMania match ever. Or even like when Bret Hart took on Stone Cold Steve Austin in '97, or even Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man match, which is personally my favorite WrestleMania match of all time, next to Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, that took place at the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. I don't think that this year's WrestleMania can live up to that, but they can still do whatever they can to prove the critics wrong and the fans wrong too as well. And so ESPN is also going to be promoting this too. So this right here, it's a lot of mainstream attention for this year's WrestleMania. Like without all the other sporting events going on, WWE is still around putting on a show. So we'll just wait and see. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know how you guys feel about WrestleMania being in front of no fans. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Do you think it should be postponed, or do you think it should go ahead and take place on April 4th or 5th? Let me know in the comments. Press like, subscribe, and share. And thank you all for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.